kidding me right now? Spencer just called the whole city of Memphis stupid and dumb. Everybody from the DA to the police officers to the prosecutors, he called y'all dumb. Called everybody, all one of them dumb. Are you kidding me right now? This case is not about the prosecutor. This case is not about Juke. This case is not about Justin. This case is not about Cornelius. This case is about Hernandez Govan. He is the person on trial. Not the city of Memphis, not the DA, not the prosecutors, not you, Hernandez Govan. That's who we are here about today. That's what this proof has been about. Embarrassed. Who should be embarrassed? Hernandez Govan. He is the person that made the choice to get engaged in this conspiracy. He made that choice. We've talked about choices. There are a few things in life that we can control, and our choices are one of them. What choices did Hernandez Govan make? You've heard that over the last few days of the choices that he's made. His choices led us here today. All right, police, they say they didn't do a good job. Convenient story. Something, novel. Because they didn't arrest everybody has to be arrested for them to do a good job. There was a twofold investigation. Sergeant Browning and Sergeant Dabney both told you that. It's very convenient that that part was left out of the defense's argument. There's a twofold investigation. Homicide and MGU. Those are two different entities within the Memphis Police Department. There was an ongoing investigation. And as Ms. Williams mentioned in her closing statements, this is a conspiracy. It's ongoing. To let you know that they were still investigating, look at the call records. Look at when those call records were received. Now, defense will have you believe that, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of pages of call records. There are. But guess what? You'll have access to all of that, and they're on a flash drive. You can search. You can put in the numbers that were given to you. When things happen, what happened with those calls. They're there for you. There's no hiding. There's no putting them aside. They're there for you to look at. So I wanted to clear up that misstatement. The focus at the time of the incident, November 17, 2021, was on a homicide. It was not on who went to AutoZone or who went to Pressure World. The focus was on a homicide. A person was dead. The defense never mentioned that we are talking about a dead person. Dead. It's everybody's issue and fault but Hernandez Govan. The police didn't kill Adolph Thornton. Cornelius and Justin killed Adolph Thornton. But who put them together? Hernandez Govan. Look at the PowerPoint presentation that Sergeant Browning provided. It has communications that contact log was put in there for Juke and Justin on the same day, about July 27th, around that time. They looked like they exchanged numbers. And if they knew each other before then, they wouldn't have had to exchange numbers. They would have already had each other's numbers. Look at that. Look at the call detail records of Cornelius Smith. You'll see about the first time he had contact in his phone anyway with Hernandez Govan. was about July 25th, 2021, around that time. All you have to do is plug the numbers in. It's not rocket science, as he'd have you believe. Hernandez Govan put these individuals together. In Govan's investigation, Govan's role in this conspiracy, as far as MPD was investigating, really didn't start until Angela Arnold gave a statement. Now, if we are to believe anything Angela Arnold says, then we are to believe call records, which Sergeant Garner said they don't lie. They're the records. They are what they are. So we can't believe that. We're not supposed to believe Angela either. We're not supposed to believe anything that's happened. The records are what the records are. But they bring in Sergeant Coburn or Lieutenant Coburn. Officers are bad. They don't do a good job. But he wants you to, well, this officer did a great job. Just this one that we bring in. He did a great job. Cornelius will tell you, he didn't just get a whole thing of Clorox and pour it all over the car and wipe it down. He said he sprayed some substance on a towel and wiped. He was still hurt. It was in the dark. He was in a rush. He was scared probably that Govan was going to come out and shoot him or do something because he was across the street from his house. But you want us to, defense wants you to believe that all the officers are bad, they did everything wrong, except that part. The investigation was ongoing. Look at the call records. Look at when they were done. And you can still investigate. And because you want someone arrested tomorrow, it doesn't mean the evidence is all there. At this point, Jook is dead. Bobby Carter's dead. Joshua Taylor's dead. We can't arrest them. We're not digging them up from the ground. They are dead. That point is dead. Browning just analyzed the numbers that were there. Garner said the records are what they are. They come from the phone company or from the phone. All Browning did was analyze it. To say, hey, these many calls came from this individual, this many contacts. That's all Browning was brought here to testify about. But because those records show Hernandez Govan communicating with the conspirators throughout the summer, throughout the fall, from July until November, well past November 17th, at least November 20th of 2021, oh, Browning's a liar too. And when all he did was analyze the records. The records were made by Mr. Govan. Defense also brought up that basically Justin Johnson had access to Jook on his own, basically. But we know that Govan made that connection. July 27, 2021. We know that. We see that in the call records. We see it. Govan already had Jook's information. Govan already had Justin's information. This was by July 27, 2021. Govan had Cornelius' information. Govan texts Justin address to Jook's smoke shop. And the contact was created between the two while they were there. But guess who did not have contact with Jook? Cornelius. He was a part of this conspiracy as well. And he got up here and he testified. And he told you that he really didn't have much contact with Juke. Guess who he was communicating with? Hernandez Govan. That's who he was communicating with. And let's look at the definition of conspiracy. You just have to create that at least with just one other person. So if you take defense at his word that Justin Johnson had other conspiracies going on and this was something separate, Hernandez Govan was still egging on Cornelius. He promised to get Cornelius paid. Cornelius didn't have direct access to Juke. He told you he was trying to still get his money. December 2nd, 2021, he sent a message from Angela Arnold's phone via Instagram messaging. He said he couldn't just straight out put that, hey man, I want my money. I did what I was supposed to do. He said he sent him a message trying to get his attention. A week later, he's arrested. But Hernandez Govan was the link between all of them. Hernandez knew Juke. Even if the order, if it did, that's still being investigated. But if the entire hit came from Juke, it was communicated to Govan, who then put it out to Justin and Cornelius. Hernandez Govan did that. The defense also makes the assertion that for 2 weeks, Hernandez Govan didn't have any kind of contact with any of the people who did the killing. He didn't have contact with Cornelius. He didn't have contact with Justin. The phone records will tell you that that is not true. It's simply not true. The phone records are there. There was contact. There was contact the day before. There was contact the day before that. There was contact days before that. And even if they didn't talk on the phone, what is stopping them from walking to his house? Communication is there. Doing everything to take away from the fact that this trial was about Hernandez Govan. And there's nothing that says, okay, if we don't talk within 2 weeks, that all of this is out the window. Nothing in the jury instructions that the judge gave you or read to you said, all right, this conspiracy ends if we don't talk in a week. This is not girlfriend and boyfriend stuff. This conspiracy was ongoing. Hernandez Govan is just trying to pull himself away at this point. But this, Justin and Cornelius, they were put together by Govan. It's been reiterated several times. All right, even if you believe what the defense says, say Justin was conspiring with others. Okay, two things could be true at the same time. But what we do know that shortly before the turkey drive, Cornelius said that Hernandez Govan called him and Justin together and was like, hey, y'all know this turkey drive getting ready to come up. Y'all ready? Y'all ready to make this money? Y'all ready to do this? Cornelius told us that. The call records, they show that there was some communication shortly before the turkey drive, the week before Thanksgiving. And Govan just reminded them, this is your mission. This is what you're supposed to do. If you want this bread, you need to make it happen. You need to make sure that you take care of that family that's been out there. You need to make sure this is what you do. So Justin chose, even if there were other conspiracies, just if, there were other conspiracies on the side. On November 16, 2021, Justin Johnson chose Cornelius. He chose Cornelius. The same Cornelius that he was introduced to through Hernandez Govan. That same day, Justin Johnson sent Juke a turkey text. It's the same text that defense has entered into evidence. He sent that on November 16th. Defense just showed you there was some communication with Juke on November 16th. On November 17th, again, the day of the murder, the day that Dolph was killed. Even if there were, again, other conspiracies, Justin Johnson chose Cornelius Smith to go on a hunt with him. He chose to go on a hunt with him. He chose him the day before. He chose him on the day of. And Cornelius Smith said the only way he knew who Justin Johnson was because of Hernandez Govan. He told you that several times. Then we talk about Cornelius. Let's talk about his testimony. Cornelius was the state's witness. Prosecutors are probably not going to be hard in screaming at their own witnesses. The point is to get the witness to talk so that you, the jury, can understand what's going on. They're a witness. Cornelius, at this point, has already testified in a previous trial. He has no reason to come in here and lie to you about what he did. He said and told you, as you watched the video of the murder of Adolph Thornton, he told you, that's me with the big gun that killed him. Now, if any part of that is, if he's to lie about, why lie about him killing somebody? That's where you lie at. He didn't lie about that. He told you. I did. But I wouldn't have known Justin Johnson except for Hernandez Govan. And he put us together to get this done. He told you, the defense attorney, at least several times, that he was under the influence. You saw the video. Cornelius Smith was up there. He was high. Even the questions that were asked of him were confusing. And he told you that I don't remember. I had taken some pills, and we learned he'd been taking pills. So why at that point say anything different? Even Angela Arnold said he took some pills that day. Yeah, he may have been fine, but he told you, I've been doing this for a long time. It may not affect me the same way that it affects someone who doesn't take pills. But in addition to the pills he was taking, he took some Tylenol PM. Defense tried to make it seem like it was just, a headache medicine. But he was getting that edge. He saw the end of the road coming for him. He knew the marshals were behind him. He knew that. He's taking them pills. So they tried to get a statement out of him that day. He's all over the place. He's confused. Doesn't really say much then. But he gives a statement eventually. And he tells you on the stand what happened. How Mr. Hernandez Govan set all of this in motion. And defense, paints him as a liar. Cornelius said his game with the women. Well, Angela, she's still with him. Some kind of game. Letitia Jackson, his kid's mother, He had enough game where she took his phone. He handed over his phone to her the day he got arrested. And Miss Ferguson, the neighbor, she said, he's a sweet baby, just sweet as he won't be. Just love him. He helped her out. She didn't have a bad thing to say about him. Said he didn't give her $500, or someone didn't give him $500 for Cornelius. How do we know Miss Ferguson is the neighbor that happened to? Live on the street, there's several neighbors. But he brings sweet little Miss Ferguson in. We had nothing bad to say about Cornelius. Cornelius, this testimony was backed up by Angela, by the evidence in phone records, by the murder. All of that is backed up. Okay, you have looks like an AutoZone receipt in a picture of it, crumbled up. You have access to the picture of their receipt. It was a picture that was in the phone that Cornelius took. It was in Browning's presentation. Look at the receipt. Blow it up. Stretch it out. You'll see that was taken, it looks like AutoZone, and it was a receipt from November 20th, 2021. In the end, all of this points back to Hernandez Govan. He got the ball rolling. He kept the ball rolling. He kicked the ball in the end. He introduced Cornelius Smith and Justin Johnson for the purpose of taking out members of PRE. One member of PRE being Adolph Thornton. That's where the conspiracy started. Again, all fingers point back to Hernandez Govan. Justin, Hernandez Govan. Cornelius, Hernandez Govan. Juke, as the defense keeps wanting to throw out, Hernandez Govan. And why go to Hernandez Govan house after they commit the murder? Because that was comfortable for them. No one ever said these were the smartest killers. They didn't plan on getting shot. That wasn't part of the conspiracy. When we get shot, we're going to go here. But they'd already had the getaway car at Hernandez Govan house. So they originally met at Hernandez Govan house back in July. If they would ever meet up during the time of the conspiracy, from June of 2021 until March or whenever they were arrested, they would meet at Hernandez Govan's house. Want to go shoot a video? Go to Hernandez Govan's house. They're all in the video. Park your getaway vehicle. Go to Hernandez Govan's house. Park your murder vehicle. Hernandez Govan, that's the person. Now, why did they not go in? Maybe he wasn't there right then. Maybe he was like, someone went down, I'm getting out. Who knows? But we know what happened. We know where they went. We know that the murder vehicle was parked there. We know that the getaway truck that they used to get somewhere else was parked in front of Govan's house. We know that. Even Cornelius Smith told you, Cornelius Smith told you that Justin wanted him to meet him on the day of the murder. He wanted him to meet at Govan's house. Cornelius said he couldn't get over there. So Justin came and picked him up. Again, all of this going back to Hernandez Govan. As much as the defense tried to deflect and get you to choose different deflections, it all points back to Hernandez Govan. Hernandez Govan had choices. He chose to bring Cornelius and Justin together. He chose to encourage them to have a hunt, to go on a hunt. PRE members, but the biggest bounty was Dolph. He knew that Cornelius had a drug habit and that he needed money. And he played upon that. He preyed upon that. And he put him together with someone who was just as hungry for him. Justin and Cornelius were put together by Hernandez Govan. He chose to ask each of them for a cut of the proceeds. He chose conspiracy. Hernandez Govan chose murder. Adolph Thornton will never get to experience many of the things we take for granted in getting old. He will never get to experience gray hair. He will never get to experience wrinkled skin, crackling knees. He didn't get to choose to grow old. That was taken from him and put in motion by Hernandez Govan. You, the jury, you have a choice. The choice is now yours. You have a choice in whether you hold Hernandez Govan accountable for his role in this murder, for his role in this conspiracy. And I ask that you choose to find Hernandez Govan guilty of murder in the first degree and guilty of conspiracy. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm picking up on page 27.